Hey everybody, this is Matt Higgins with the Nighttime Podcast, News Edition. I felt like I had to throw my 2 cents worth in about the war going on over in the Middle East between Israel and Hamas. Although you probably could say that the war is between Israel and Palestine right now because they seem to be bombing indiscriminately everybody everywhere in Palestine. I understand that Hamas did a very horrible thing in attacking unprovoked Israel and killing innocent civilians. That happened, a month ago? And since then, Israel has decided to wage a 40 days and 40 nights worth of fucking bombing and slaughtering campaign against anybody and everybody who isn't an Israeli. So, while I understand the need to respond to what happened, the attack on Israel was not warranted. Although, to be fair, nothing happens in a vacuum. Okay? I'm not saying it was justified what Hamas did. That would be just completely wrong. There are better ways to get your point across than just murdering people. Having said that, was that strike, did it happen in a vacuum, or was it in response to how Palestinians are treated by Israel? So there are always two sides to every story. That doesn't mean one side is always right and one side's always wrong. But in some cases it is. Hamas was wrong in what they did. Whatever their intentions were, those can be debated. But for Israel to turn around and give a totally disproportionate response by trying to kill everybody that isn't Israeli, that seems a touch much, considering that Israel is founded for a group of people that were being wiped off the face of the earth by another group of people back in the 40s. Ethnic cleansing should be the lowest response to an event that Israel comes up with, and yet we're forced to take one side or the other without evaluating what's actually happening. And I would say that Israel is totally in the wrong with what they are doing right now. That's just my opinion. They need to pull back. There needs to be a ceasefire. They've already killed, almost 10,000 people, probably a lot more than that. They've destroyed everything they've touched. I think maybe they can go ahead and scale back a tad and let Palestine try and recover. Because if this were to happen anywhere else, let's say this happened in America. Let's say, I don't know, let's say Iowa. I live in Iowa. Iowa's a good example. Let's say Iowa sent in, I don't know, a couple hundred soldiers from their reserves. Let's say they sent them down to Missouri. And they attacked a neighborhood, a city or whatever. Killed a couple hundred people and then snuck back across the state lines. Now, obviously, this would never happen, but this goes to, just a general example. Now, Missouri turns around and sends all of their reserves and just decides to wage a war of terror and destruction clear up through Iowa, clear up to the Minnesota border. Just fucking killing everybody and everything. And then they marched back to Missouri and said, yeah, that felt right. That felt proportional. That's basically what's happening in Israel right now with Palestine. So a couple thousand people get killed. You turn around and kill 100,000 people. That's what the fucking mafia does, right? You send one of theirs to the hospital. They send one of yours to the morgue. That kind of thing. I think that was in a movie. So I think Israel could serve everybody's best interest and pull back and stop and say, okay, maybe now we need to explore some more measured responses, some more targeted responses. Not, hey, we think that there's a Hamas leader in that neighborhood over there, so we're just going to go ahead and bomb 10 to 15 square miles back to the fucking Stone Age where we think that guy might be, and whoever's there, fuck them, because hey, they're not real people. They're Palestinians. It's not like they're Jews. It's not like they're Israeli. So yeah, I don't think that should be a controversial statement. Like, hey, let's stop fucking killing everybody and destroying everything we see just because we were wronged in one incident. So that's just my take. I'll probably get shit for this, but it would serve people a lot better if they would take a step back and stop letting other people tell them what to think and how to feel. Because I can see the news. I can see that Hamas attacked Israel without provocation, without direct provocation. And Israel turned around and had a fucking meltdown and is just going berserk on Palestine. And that's unacceptable. I'm sorry. It's unacceptable. It's the same reason that whenever we're wronged, we don't go over and just destroy an entire country and try to commit genocide. Aside from the fact that, hey, we stole this country through a war and slaughter and genocide ourselves, so we have a history of it. And maybe that's why we're so sympathetic to Israel and what they're doing, is our nation was founded on slaughter and bloodshed and genocide and theft of property. So maybe that's why they want to force us to just support Israel all the way without reflecting on what the fuck is actually happening and knowing that as a human being, what they're doing is wrong. I live in this country and I know we have a shitty past and we don't deserve what we have. And that allows me to think critically and clearly about what's happening other places. So, yeah, I don't support Hamas, but I do support the fact that Palestinians deserve to live in peace without being punished for what part of their society does or believes. It's the same thing as here. You don't want us to treat all Christians like those fucking psycho Westboro Baptist people, right? You don't want us to think all religious people are like that? Apply that same fucking logic over there in the Middle East. Okay? Take a second, breathe, and think about it. That's just my 2 cents. Have a good day.